from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news broadcast of Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Dilanjali Ananda. Joining me is Charita Midipurarachi. And these are the top stories which have made headlines for tonight. Dhanushka Gunatilaka is scheduled to be produced in an Australian court tomorrow. Domestic gas price increases. The President leaves to attend the Global Climate Change Summit in Egypt. People demand to streamline the train service. Solutions requested for the human-elephant conflict. The work on the biggest development project in the recent history commences. Broadcasting of a media briefing of Imran Khan banned.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. Sri Lankan cricket has announced that the arrested Sri Lankan cricketer Dhanushka Gunatilaka is scheduled to be produced in the magistrate court tomorrow in Sydney. They have said that discussions will be held with the International Cricket Council and an executive investigation will be conducted into the allegations levelled against him. Dhanushka Gunatilaka, who went to Australia to take part in the T20 World Cup, has been arrested around 1 a.m. Australia time. Foreign media reported that he has been arrested according to a complaint lodged by a woman in connection with a sexual abuse incident. Australian media reports said that Dhanushka Gunatilaka and the woman have been in contact over social media for several days, and he has met her at her home at Rosebery, Sydney. The media report said that the woman has made a complaint in this regard to New South Wales Police. After investigations, he was arrested this morning from a hotel in Sydney where the team was staying. 4 accusations have levelled against him under the Australian law, and his bail application was rejected today. Attorney at law Ananda Amarnath appeared on behalf of Dhanushka Gunatilaka. Issuing a statement, Sri Lanka Cricket said that the International Cricket Council confirmed the arrest of Dhanushka Gunatilaka. Sri Lanka Cricket said that if he was found guilty, strict legal actions will be taken against him.
Arranging to met up in a public place with other people around that were aware of that she was there to meet someone for a date. And it was just unfortunate. It has nothing to do with meeting on safe. She communicated over a number of days before arranging to met up in a public place with other people around that were aware of that she was there to meet someone for a date. And it was just unfortunate. It has nothing to do with meeting on a dating app.
After the match with England, Sri Lanka team returned to the island today without Dhanushka Gunatilaka. On several occasions earlier, Dhanushka Gunatilaka was accused of indisciplinary actions. After the activities in England, a match ban was imposed against him, and it was relaxed with the intervention of Sri Lanka cricket. Dhanushka Gunatilaka played only against Namibia in the T20 World Cup. He was unable to score in the match. Thereafter, he was removed from the series due to an injury, and Ashwin Bandara was called in for the team. However, Sri Lanka cricket did not take steps to send him back to the country. Sri Lanka cricket said that he was retained in Australia as a substitute player since he was recovering from the injury. A statement issued by Sri Lanka cricket said that Dhanushka Gunatilaka trained with the team with the hope of including him in the team in the event of a player being injured. Secretary to the Ministry of Sports and an inquiry was made from Sri Lanka cricket for retaining Dhanushka Gunatilaka in Australia after the injury. The Sports Ministry has informed Sri Lanka cricket to submit a report in this regard as soon as possible. Meanwhile, a discussion took place over Zoom with the participation of Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri, Australian High Commission in Sri Lanka, and a group of people. The Sports Ministry Secretary said that discussions took place on the possible measures that can be taken on behalf of Dhanushka Gunatilaka.
Now, the domestic gas price will be increased with effect from midnight today. Litro Gas Company said that although the company earned a small profit during this recent past, the price was increased at a minimum rate to pass on the benefits to the consumers.
The pricing of a 12.5 kilogram according to the pricing formula newly introduced should be increased by 210 rupees. However, as Litro has been operating steadily, the company has decided to increase the price of a 12.5 kilogram cylinder only by 80 rupees, and also 5 kg cylinder by 30 rupees and 2.3 kg by Rs 15 rupees. So therefore, November 2022, The Colombo market price of a 12.5 kg cylinder will be 4,360 from today, and 5 kg 5 kilogram cylinder will be Rs 1,750, and also 2.3 kg will be 815 rupees.
And meanwhile, it is reported that there is a fuel shortage at filling stations in some areas, but Petroleum Corporation said that there is no fuel shortage in the country. Some filling stations have closed, stating that there is no fuel. Therefore, they are accused near other filling stations. The Petroleum Corporation said several fuel ships are scheduled to reach the country within the next few days. The remaining stops are sufficient for 15 days. The corporation said that reason for running out of fuel by some stations is that they have not ordered fuel as scheduled. All Island Professional Three-Wheeler Drivers Association said that they cannot revise three-wheeler fares under the present circumstances.
Now, the UN's Climate Change Summit has opened in Egypt with a warning that the planet is sending a distress signal. Secretary General Antonio Guterres was responding to a UN report saying the past 8 years were on track to be the warmest on record. More than 120 world leaders are due to arrive at the summit known as COP27 in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. This will kick off 2 weeks of negotiations between countries on climate action. COP27 President Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry urged leaders to not let food and energy crises related to Russia's invasion of Ukraine get in the way of action on climate change. The need for action was laid bare in the latest report from the UN's World Meteorological Organization. UN Secretary General Guterres sent a video message to the conference in which he called the State of the Global Climate Report 2022 as a chronicle of climate chaos. In it, scientists estimate that global temperatures have now risen by 1.15 Celsius since pre-industrial times and said the latest 8 years were on track to be the warmest on record. The report also warned of the other wide-ranging impacts of climate change, including the acceleration of sea level rise, record glacier mass losses, and record-breaking heat waves.
And meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe left the island this morning for Egypt to participate in the COP27 conference on climatic change, which is scheduled to be held from November 6 to 18 in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. President Wickremesinghe is scheduled to address the conference on climatic changes issues in Sri Lanka and around the world. During the visit, the president will hold discussions with Egyptian President Abdul Fattah el-Sisi and Prime Minister Mustafa Madmouli. President's advisor on climate change, Ran Vijayawardena, is also taking part in this tour. The President emphasized on the need to gradually liberate the services sector to attract the foreign direct investments into the country and to take steps to gain membership in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. President Wickremesinghe made these remarks during his meeting with the officers of the National Trade Negotiations Committee at the Presidential Secretariat. The President instructed the officers to learn about the free trade negotiations as well as the future outlook of international trade and on aligning policy priorities in this regard. He further stated that in parallel to the expansion of international trade activities, the government will implement a trade adjustment program to support the local industries to further adjust with competition, access to regional and global supply chains and re-engagement with the global economy. Enhanced support and export-oriented foreign direct investments is an element of the government's economic reforms program to revitalize the domestic economy. And meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe met the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres upon his arrival in Egypt at Cairo. He left the island this morning to take part in the COP27 summit in England. The President briefed the Secretary General of the government plans to national environmental policy. The Secretary General recalled memories on his first visit to Sri Lanka in 1987. He was accompanied by Minister of Environment Nazir Ahmed, Senior Advisor to the President on Climate Change Ran Vijayawardena, President's International Affairs Director Tino Colombage, and President's Private Secretary Sandra Pereira.
Now, an extraordinary gazette has been issued stating that 4 ministries will remain under the purview of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The decision has been taken in consultation with the Prime Minister according to the 21st Amendment to the Constitution. The operations of the Ministries of Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policy, Technology, Women and Children's Affairs and Social Empowerment and Investment Promotion will continue to function under the purview of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Apart from those 4 ministries, the Ministries of Defence is also under the President.
And meanwhile, commuters and railway trade unions say that railway department should be restructured to provide a streamlined service. The railway service is considered as the most convenient mode which is profitable to commuters and that takes a minimum time for travelling. It is helpful in reducing road congestion since a large number of commuters can travel at once. Most of the office workers use train to travel. However, since recently the service has become unsatisfactory. There are many instances of delay cancellations, slow speed, suspending train services before reaching the destination and derailments have been reported recently. This situation can be seen more on the coastal line. As a result, many office workers get late to arrive at their workplaces and the situation remains when they are going back to homes after work. The railway service was maintained by charging a small fare from the passengers and the fare was increased to eliminate the loss. However, the department said that the train service makes a huge loss even at present. People have been severely affected due to the insufficient of their most convenient transport service. Thereafter, therefore, they requested the authorities to maintain the service methodologically. Trade unions on the department point out that not only the commuters, that employees are facing difficulties due to the insufficient and inefficient administration of the railway department.
Now, people in the area and motorists who use Wadua-Pallimankada railway crossing on coastal line are facing danger as the signal light system at the place is not functioning properly. People said that the signal light system functions after ringing of the bell often, even when the train is not approaching. Therefore, they said a dangerous situation has occurred where they are unable to be aware of the time of the train arriving. People in the area said that although they informed the relevant railway station, they have not solved the issue.
Trade union representatives say that they appreciate if cost of living allowance is given, which can be deducted later. The Prime Minister has pointed out that trade unions should face the reality by understanding the crisis. This was disclosed during a meeting to obtain proposals and views on trade unions for the forthcoming budget. The meeting took place at the Prime Minister's office. The trade union representatives handed over their written proposals to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said that the government will not hesitate to provide relief that can be given to the people and the budget will help to overcome the crisis. Trade union representatives appreciated the steps taken by the government for the benefit of low-income recipients.
Now, the Met Department says that showers or thundershowers can occur in most areas of the country during the night. The Met Department said rains of more than 75 millimeters can be expected at some places of the western, central, south and Sabaragama provinces. Thundershowers will be accompanied by temporary strong winds. The Met Department has requested the people to take precautions to minimize accidents due to lightning. Showers or thundershowers are expected in sea areas around the country. Sea areas off the coast of Kankasanture to Manna via Putlam will be rough at times. There will be temporary strong winds in those sea areas along with thundershowers. An earth mount has collapsed on a house under construction at Bandarela Vevathanna area following heavy showers in the area. Several houses on high elevations in Kandy have been damaged with heavy rain due to the collapsing of earth mounts. Houses in Peradeniya, Hanthana, Suduhampala, Patanavatta, Bahiravakanda and Anivatta areas have been damaged. 4 injured persons have been hospitalized. 3 sluice gates of Polgol Mahavali Reservoir have been opened. 6 sluice gates of Victoria's Reservoir have been automatically opened. Engineer Sali Ratnayaka said that except for first and 8 gates, other sluice gates were opened by 6 meters each. Those sluice gates were opened from 7 p.m. last night to 5 a.m. today. Now, the Government Medical Officers Association says that the Health Ministry has not issued guidelines to the health staff on the measures taken in connection with monkeypox.
During a media briefing in Colombo today, the association said that the health staff should pay strict attention to the illness. Secretary to the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Haritha Aludge, said that there are measures to be taken to the security of the health staff and possibilities should be looked into providing health staff with injections which can be given under certain limitations. It is important for the Health Ministry to communicate the quarantine process and the guidelines. The people should be informed that this illness will be cured with immunity and the death rate is less than 0.5%.
ක්‍රියාවලිය සම්බන්ධයෙන් මහජන සෞඛ්‍ය පරීක්ෂක මහතුරුන් සෞඛ්‍ය වෛද්‍යධාරී කාර්යාල සම්පූර්ණ මොනවද කියන එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ පැත්තෙන් වඩා විධිමත් තොරතුරු එළමෙන සතිය වෙනකොට sannivedana වීම ඉතා වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ජනතාවට දෙන්න තියෙන පණිවිඩය තමයි මේ රෝගයේ බොහෝ පිටතින අත්දැකීම් අනුව self limiting එහෙම නැත්නම් ඇඟෙන්ම හොඳ වෙලා යන රෝග තත්ත්වයක් විදිහට තමයි අති බහුතරයක් රෝගීන් තියෙන්නේ. මරණානුපාතය 0.1කටත් වඩා අඩුයි. ඒ නිසා අනවශ්‍ය කලබලයකින් තොරව මේ රෝගය පිළිබඳ හරි ඇත්ත දැනගෙන ඒ ඇත්තට අනුව තමන්ගේ හැඩගැස්වා ගැනීම සිද්ධ වීම තමයි ජනතාවගේ පැත්තෙන් එන්න.
Meanwhile, the Health Trade Union Federation charged that the government is suppressing trade unions based on a statement made by Dr. Shamal Sanjeeva on malnutrition. Chairman of the Public Health Inspectors Union Upul Rohana said that the statement made by him has been published by certain media in a different angle, saying that the Colombo District Health Director's office stating there is no proper nutrition for 873 pregnant mothers. A consultant doctor of the Family Health Bureau has said that the arrival of students at schools has reduced by nearly 60%. And meanwhile, 116 individuals and 352 wild elephants have died in 2022 due to human-elephant conflict.
Humans and elephants are facing a serious disaster due to the problem, and the authorities have not provided a permanent solution to the problem so far. Human-elephant conflicts are reported from many areas of Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa. Clearing of forest settlement of blocking elephant passes and shortage of food have contributed to the issue. It is a timely need to find a solution soon without harming people and wild elephants. As one solution, attention has been paid on establishing 3 elephant corridors. A discussion took place to find solutions to the problem in the Polonnaruwa district. People in Valikanda, Dimbulagala and Madarigiri areas are severely affected by the human-elephant conflict. Meanwhile, a bus carrying a group of pilgrims has stuck in the mud on a tank bund near Sigiriya. The bus has been pulled out of the mud with the help of an elephant, which is being used for elephant safaris. Now, the development of Deniyaya Rakwana Road, which is an A-grade road that had not been developed, commenced today.
Under the first phase, the road from Suryakanda to Rakwana will be developed at a cost of 5.6 billion rupees. It is considered as the biggest development project at present. The stretch from Gol to Deniyaya and from Rakwana to Madampe has been developed with 2 lanes. The remaining stretch from Deniyaya to Rakwana has to be developed. The A-grade road runs through several main areas such as Moravaka, Deniyaya, Suryakanda and Rakwana. This road runs parallel to the Singharaja forest, is used by tea industry and for agricultural activities. This road is popular among tourists and there are several observation points at the road. The development activities were suspended with the COVID pandemic and it is expected to be completed by October 2024.
Now, prices of up-country and low-country vegetables have increased again. The traders said reduction in supply due to the inclement weather has contributed to the situation. Accordingly, a kilogram of local potatoes has increased to 350 rupees and a kilogram of cabbages to 280 rupees. A kilogram of green chilies is 400 rupees. The price of a kilogram of red onions has increased to 800 rupees. Traders said selling of vegetables has decreased due to the price increase. Chairman of All Island Economic Centres Aruna Hettiarachchi said that small-scale farmers refraining from cultivations is another reason for the increase in vegetable prices. He pointed out if it continues, it can severely affect the forthcoming festive season.
And we now bring you some more news items in brief. The Indian government has donated $15 million to promote Buddhist relations. The donation has been made during a meeting at Colombo between Indian High Commissioner Gopal Barclay and Minister Vidura Vikramanayake. Anunayaka of Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dhamma Mahasangha Sabha Venerable Dadiyavala Tilakarasiri Thera has passed away. The funeral is scheduled to be held at Kalutara Urban Council ground on the 8th. The Navy has taken into custody 2 Indian boats for illegally fishing inside local maritime borders. During a stretch conducted in the sea area north of Talemena, they have arrested 15 Indian fishermen. Hagile Bridge was vested with the public. It will be benefiting more than 100 families. Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva was the chief guest on this occasion. Police Special Task Force said that an accomplice of a frontline drug racketeer and another individual were arrested with a stock of ice. They have been arrested at Vattala, Hunupitiya, Vevalduva area. The value of drugs is around 15 million rupees. Stay tuned for international news after this break.
Welcome back. On foreign news, the Pakistan Electronic Media and Regulatory Authority imposes a ban on TV channels from broadcasting former Premier Imran Khan's press conferences. The relevant notice was issued yesterday. The notice has indicated that former Pakistan Imran Khan, during his long March speeches and a day ago, had made aspirations against state institutions by levelling baseless allegations for orchestrating an assassination plan. It added that airing such content was likely to create hatred among the people or was prejudicial to the maintenance of law and order and endanger national security. In case of any violation observed, licenses may be suspended without any show cause notice in the public interest along with other enabling provisions of law. The notice has further read, meanwhile, former Prime Minister Imran Khan said that authorities in Punjab are refusing to file a complaint over the attack. He announced that his long march towards Islamabad will resume on Tuesday from the same point in Wazirabad, where his container came under attack last Thursday.
The man dubbed India's first voter has died at the age of 105. Shyamzara Negi is thought to have been the first person to cast a ballot when India held its first general election after gaining independence from British rule. Mr. Negi has voted in every election since then. The centenarian had cast his ballot just 3 days ago before his death yesterday in the assembly elections for his state Himachal Pradesh. The retired teacher is thought to be the first person to vote in an independent India because state opened polling booths 5 months early in 1951 for the 1952 elections to avoid heavy snow.
Now, a fire in a bar in the Russian city of Kostroma has killed at least 13 people. Authorities say it may have begun when a drunk customer at the nightclub fired a flare gun on the dance floor. The fire reportedly spread when parts of the lighting rig on the ceiling ignited, quickly filling the room with smoke. It took several hours for it to be extinguished. The suspect, has said to be the local resident, has been arrested. It took emergency workers several hours to put out the fire, which began at around 2 local time in Kostroma. Russia's investigative committee said a 23-year-old man had been arrested on suspicion of using a pyrotechnic object inside the building, which led to the fire. The media reported that the suspected perpetrator had admitted responsibility. The exact number of people inside the club at the time is not known. About 250 people were able to evacuate.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Iran of lying and terrorist cooperation by supporting Russia's war in Ukraine. It comes after Iran admitted for the first time it had supplied drones to Moscow, but only before the invasion. The West believes Russia has used Iranian kamikaze drones to hit key infrastructure sites in Ukraine, but Iran and Moscow previously denied it. Blackouts have hit much of Ukraine after the attacks on power stations. Western officials have accused Iran of supplying drones to Russia and of providing personnel on the ground to train Russia drone pilots. Previously, Tehran denied the accusations, but yesterday's Iran foreign minister said a small number of the vehicles had been sent to Moscow. However, in an address to the Telegram channel, President Zelensky accused Iran of lying even in this confession.
Prima Stella Set Yogurt.
ජය ගන්න වැඩි වෙන්න.
Now, on your sports news, South Africa was not able to qualify for the semi-finals at the T20 World Cup series as they were beaten by the Netherlands. Meanwhile, Pakistan qualified for the semi-finals when they were beaten by Bangladesh.
The match between South Africa and Netherlands took place in Adelaide. Batting first, Netherlands scored 158 runs for 4 wickets in 20 overs. Chasing a target of 159, South Africa was able to score only 145 for 8 wickets in 20 overs. Accordingly, the Netherlands won the match by 13 runs. The match between Pakistan and Bangladesh was also played in Adelaide. Batting first, Bangladesh scored 127 runs for 8 wickets in 20 overs. In reply, Pakistan won the match by scoring 128 runs for 5 wickets in 18.1 overs.
And you can see the frustration. Thrashes away. They'll get a boundary to end it. But look at the reaction on the field. They're coming from all over the place.